Hi, my name is Seti and welcome back to the channel where we make educational technology easy for you. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at Microsoft Teams and how you can utilize it to run your lessons online. Let's dive into it with another flipped classroom tutorial. Now, Microsoft Teams is part of Office 365, but you don't need an Office 365 account to use it. Now, I've installed it on my laptop and I'm going to demonstrate some of the key features that you can use to get online with your class today. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is open up Microsoft Teams. Now, I've already got my account logged into Microsoft Teams, but if this is the first time that you're using it, just create an account with Microsoft and then you can log into this program. Now, creating an account is super easy. You can even use your Gmail account to do so. Now, the first thing you'll see here is on the side there's a number of options. Now, at the top we have the activity. Now, the activity is going to show you everything that's been going on in your teams. Now, underneath that we have a chat, and these are one-on-one chats with other people that are members of your team. This can include video conversations and text chats. And then the next one down is teams, and this is where you're going to be spending most of your time. This is where you're going to create teams or classrooms, and then everyone comes together, shares resources, shares ideas, and also virtual meetups. Now, under that you see calls and files is very useful when you've got files that have been shared with other teams and you can't quite remember which team shared it. Well, files will give you a breakdown of all the files in your various teams. Now, I've already gone ahead and set up a demo team, so I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's click on that Teams button first. So I'm now in my Teams overview, and here on the left-hand side you can see my different teams. Now, my main team here is all under EduFlip, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to create your own team. Well, all you have to do is scroll down to the bottom and then click on that Join or Create Team. Here you can now create a new team. Now, you can either create it from an existing Office 365 group, or you just start from scratch, which is what we're going to do now. Now, I'm going to create a new team. I'm going to make it a private team, and I'm going to call this Demo 2. I'm going to click on Create, and my team is being prepared. Now, obviously, a team is not a team without participants or members of that team. So the next step is going to be to invite your students to your team. Here you can now start typing their email addresses or their names, and then they can be added to your team. So I'm going to add my demo account. There we go. Demo, and we're going to add him to that team. Once we're done, we can select what we want him to be, a owner or member. I'm going to keep it at member, and then we're going to click on close. As you can see now, I have my second team. So I have my EduFlip team, and then I have my demo team. Now, teams can contain multiple channels. Now, channels can be subjects. For example, you have a team for your middle school, and then your channel is your English department, your maths department, and your computer science department. Now, in order to add a channel, you have to go to that General tab first. So let's go ahead and click on General, and then we're going to add a channel. So let's create more channels. This will now be a maths department. And we can choose the privacy settings of that, but I'm just going to leave it at the default. And as you can see here down the side, we now have an extra channel. Now, within these channels, you can have conversations. These can be video chats, meetups, or you can share files. Now, for the sake of this demonstration, I've already created a channel within my EduFlip team, and so I'm going to open up that channel right now. Here on the demo video channel, I can now see what's been going on. Now, here I've already put a couple of examples, and there's text that can be shared and there's files that can be shared, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. So at the bottom you can see that you can start a new conversation. You can just start typing, so you can type hello everyone and then just send it off into that channel. Now, everyone in the team can see what goes on in that channel. Now, alternatively, if you click on this button right here, you get a lot more formatting options for your message. As you can see up here, I've added a bit of formatting to that, and this allows you to really stand out, to make your message stand out, or also to just add it a little bit of personality. Once you're happy with that, you can just send your message off. I'm going to delete this because I don't need that message right now. The next option here is to add an attachment. Now, this allows us to share a file. And again, like I said, this is tied in with Office 365, but if you don't use that, well, you can still upload from your computer. So if you click on that, well, then you can select a file that you would like to share. So we're going to go ahead, select a file, and this is now being shared with everyone in that chapter. Now, if I want to have a quick overview of all the files that have been previously shared, well, at the top I can click on Files, and then you get an overview of all the files that have been shared. You also see when they were modified and who's modified it. In addition to that, we have our students' all-time favorites, emojis, GIF files, and a number of stickers. But I'm going to move to the next one, which is the video meetup. Now, let's say that you're running your lessons online and you'd like to organize a meetup with your classroom. Well, you can click on that button and then you'll start a video meet. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Now, as soon as I click on this button, my video will pop up with a preview of my camera. Now again, this is the webcam and this is the camera view. Now the webcam is active just for me because we haven't started our video chat yet. I first have to title this meeting and I'm going to just call it a demo meeting. So demo meeting. As soon as I click on Meet Now, all my participants can be invited and then they can all join this meeting. Now, because this is a demonstration and I want to make it as real as possible, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be inviting myself, and I'm going to invite myself on my mobile phone. Now that way you can see what it's like for different participants, and you can also see what it feels like on an Android device. So let's go ahead and start this meeting. I'm going to leave my camera on and click on Meet Now. You can see I'm in the meeting and I haven't invited anyone yet because I want to make sure that everything works. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check and make sure that my camera is on, or maybe I'll turn it off. I can also turn my microphone on or off. I can mute myself. Now I'm going to leave myself muted because I don't want to get any feedback once I invite my phone. I can also share my screen, which I'll show you in a little bit. But one more thing I want to draw your attention to is a special feature of Microsoft Teams that I find incredibly useful. So when you click on those three dots, you can blur your background. So here, when you click on Blur My Background, it'll automatically blur out the background. Now, if you are in a busy environment, let's say you're in a coffee shop and you're having a meeting with your students, well, that background can be a huge distraction. So this allows you to blur out the background and just carry on with your meeting. Now, I'm going to unblur this background. I'm going to show you some of the other actions you can do here. Now you can enter the full screen options, or you can open up your meeting notes. Now meeting notes are very useful when you have a meeting where information is shared and it's important that notes are kept that you can then later share with your students. Well, this allows you to keep those notes and then that file can be shared later. In addition to that, we also have the device settings, and this is what I meant about double checking everything before you start inviting people, because sometimes there are some issues with your camera or your microphone. Well, this is the best way to get everything sorted before you start your meeting. Once you're happy with everything, you can close that, and then we can go to the Participants tab. Now the Participants tab, this is where you get some suggestions, and these suggestions are pulled in from your team members. You can also manually just invite them there at the top. Now I'm going to go ahead and invite myself. I'm now going to invite this demo account, and so I'm going to click on those three dots and I'm going to ask them to join our meeting. It is now calling that person. Now because I have it installed on my mobile device, I can see that I'm being called. So I'm going to click on accept and then join this meeting. Now that I'm in this meeting, you will see that I can turn my camera on, and then this is my mobile device now. Now, as you can see, I have joined from my mobile device and I can now see everything live. Now, because I want to make sure that I'm not making it too complicated, I'm going to turn the camera off on my mobile device. So I'm going to tap my mobile device and I'm going to turn off that camera. There we go. Now, one more thing you can do as the leader of this meeting is you can assign different roles to your attendees. So I'm going to click on these three dots here. And now what I can do is I can first of all mute my participant, but I can also make this participant an attendee, because at the moment, this participant is as much a leader of the meeting as I am. That means they can present their screen, they can share their screen, but attendees cannot do so. So I'm going to make this person an attendee. I'm going to change that, and instantly you get notified on your mobile device. Now the mobile device is no longer able to now share their screen. That means that I am in charge of what goes on now, and let's go ahead and have a look at some of these sharing settings. Let's say that I've started my lesson and I'd like to share a presentation. Well, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to click on that share button and I'm going to go and find that presentation. Now, because I'm not using Office 365, you can see it's not being pulled in under the PowerPoint tab. But again, no worries, we can just browse for that file. So I'm going to click on browse, and then I'm going to browse for my computer. going to quickly select that file. We now have this PowerPoint opening up in Microsoft Teams. Now, as soon as this presentation is opened up on my screen, the mobile device will also see that presentation. So that means I'm presenting the presentation to them. I have a number of additional features here. I can flick through these, and then as I progress through the presentation, it automatically changes it on their mobile device. I can also go back to that share button, and I can load up a whiteboard similar to some of the other applications. So here under the whiteboard functionality, I have the Microsoft Whiteboard. And this is our whiteboard that we can now use to draw and sketch out some ideas. Let's go back to those sharing functions. And let's now share our screen. Now I can either share my full desktop or a window. Now I'm going to share my desktop. There we go. And you can either include or not include your system audio. So make sure that you tick this if you are presenting a video or something that includes audio. So I'm going to share my desktop. And there we go, this is now being presented to the attendees. As you can see on the mobile view, they can see my entire desktop until I click on this button right here. And this button is going to signal that I no longer want to share my screen. So let's go ahead and click on that. And there we go, we've now stopped the screen sharing. Okay, brilliant. We've had a meeting, we've met all our participants and our students are happy. Let's end the meeting. But you will see that the attendee is still in the meeting room, so that's something to be aware of in terms of student safety. And we're going to hang up on the mobile view as well. Now, as soon as everyone's left that meeting, you can see there's a note there in our channel. Now at the top, you can see that part of our recent activity, we have that meeting. This is great to keep track of how often you've met or who's met with who and when these meetings took place. Now you can also leave some follow-up replies and you can leave some messages to follow up on what was discussed earlier. So let's go ahead and click on reply and then let's just say, great meeting, thank you for joining. So we're going to type up, great meeting, thank you for joining. And there we go, we can send this and now everyone will see that reply. And these are some of the basics in Microsoft Teams that will allow you and enable you to teach your lessons online, share resources, share files and brainstorm together as a class. Now I hope you found this helpful. If you did, make sure you scroll down to that description and that you let me know what are some of your favorite functions within Microsoft Teams. What would you like to see added to Microsoft Teams, and do you have any questions about using Teams in schools? I'd love to see your comments. I will do my best to read and reply to every comment. Now once you've left your comments, scroll back up, make sure you hit subscribe, that bell notification to be notified of future videos. I will see you in the next one and I thank you for watching.